Well, I got the lawnmower tire off because the valve stem was leaking, and I tried pumping it up to bring it over here to the garage, and the valve stem ripped out of the tire. So, I used the truck to run over the tire multiple times in this area till the bead jumped off and allowed me to access the backside to pull the valve stem back through. This whole rim is rusted really badly on the inside edge. I think I'm going to pop the tire back off of the bead once more again and put some sealant in there. Maybe sand the wheel down a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to. But most likely I'll just put some sealant in there because I'm lazy. And it's just a piece of crap wheel. It's pretty bad in there. So there's also a part of me that just says just let it seep like that and not even really give a shit. But I don't know. It'll just come back to bite me again later. So this side is cool. It is what it is, right? And then this side also seeps. If I took the wheel out of the tire and like really sanded it and whatnot, and put some epoxy on it and, went to town, I could get it to seal perfect. Problem is, when I took that off, I didn't have any power tools here at the house yet, so I didn't have a wire brush with any power. So I just got in there with some sandpaper and a handheld wire brush. It was chaos. Anyway, that's what's going on with that. This is the beginnings of my solar well pump. So I've got a 100-watt panel here. I've got a voltage controller, or a solar panel charging controller. And then I've got this float switch that I'm going to interlock into the output off of my battery. Normally you run those without a battery, I guess a lot of people are, but I've got these two batteries here. I'm not sure which one of the two I want to use. This was in the lawnmower when I bought it, and it wasn't shit, so I charged it and the damn thing worked. This one came out of the van. They had a power inverter in that thing. So either one of those, it doesn't matter to me. They're both just kind of hanging out there. So I'm going to wire the solar panel to the controller, and then coming out of the controller right here to a battery, which will be that. Coming out of the battery on the float switch. And then the float switch is going to run. I think that float switch will hold like quite a bit of voltage, quite a bit of amperage. So I think you can actually like directly switch like 120, 30 amp on that float switch. So I think that float switch might be able to directly switch my 12-volt water pump that I'm going to put on here. I have to do some more research, but yeah. And then my reservoir is this blue barrel, which I found along the road the other day, full of bird seed that was all fermented and disgusting. But that is like a food grade barrel. I don't know if it's food grade or not. It's something. It's definitely animal food grade. Got the chickens out here. What's going on, chickens? So I got the wheel off the tractor there, off the lawnmower. And I got a puddle of oil coming out of my hydraulic drive unit there. It's old. I don't know if I care about it that much. It appears to be coming out of the axle seal at the end and then dripping down. And you can't pull that axle out. That has to be removed from the inside. So that might be a wintertime project. We'll see. But for now, I just top it off. It's cheap-ass 5W20 conventional motor oil that's in the hydraulic units. Got to pick up a filter for that today. Chickens, what's going on? Come here. Oh. No? Okay. Oh my. Okay. Boy, they're having a good time. This one back here in the corner is really going to town. I gave them some bananas, some old asparagus, a crappy cucumber, some celery stalks this morning. They seem to be enjoying that. I came home yesterday and they were out back here in this back wooded area, kind of getting some bugs and stuff. That was nice. I leave them out when I go to work. I just tell Nathan to check them out when he gets home. So, did some look at this spot. Check out this well house. Oof. It has this pipe, which the previous owner explained to me is not actually coming out of the well. It was a line that came from the house out to here so that they had water here for the barn. The well was tied into it. The well would literally pump out of the top of this well cap into this piece here. It had a T-valve, and so you could pump from the well into the house, but apparently this county down here made everybody get on public water. I don't know why, but when water was available, they made everybody get on it. And apparently the city water was back feeding this guy's well. He didn't realize it and got like $1 million water bill, and realized that he was pumping the ground full of city water. So he, undid what he was doing there, and that's that. This is a pretty cool spot. This little shack out here. I don't know what to say about it other than it definitely needs some cleaning, but it's cool. I don't know. I guess they use it as a greenhouse. Anyway, previous owner, Scott, got a hold of me and said, hey, dude, the wellhead is underneath the paving bricks that are out here, and there's a big rock. And then he said there's a wellhead. There it is. And without dropping my phone in there, here, I'll drop a little rock in there. You ready? Drop our little rock. My little one. Ready? I can see my reflection down there. There you go. We have liquid water down there. I don't know how good it is. I was told that this was the best well in Coleman County. So I'll buy that. And I guess the only reason they got off the well water was because they were forced to. So we've got a wellhead. I don't know what the hell you call it. I'm not a fucking landman. We also have power out here, which I don't know if it actually works, but that'd be cool if it did. Anyway, yeah. Gonna get my 12-volt well pump, and that's gonna go down in that hole. And I've got my solar panel, which I'm gonna mount up there on the roof, and put my controller inside, and probably put my barrel like right here, just for now. And then I'm gonna have that barrel full of water constantly, so I can just dip water out of it for my chickens. My water bill ends up being about $100 a month. And if I can get rid of that for my solar panels, that's what I'm going to do. So eventually, maybe I'll just have a little 12-volter pump into that thing, or I don't know how I'm going to do it. But at any rate, maybe I'll come up with a pressure vessel out there, and also run a 12-volt air compressor into the pressure vessel, so that I'll have a bit of a head on my tank. I don't know. And I can push it back into the house again. I don't know. We'll come up with something cool. So they came over and mowed my hay for me. Actually, they mowed it for themselves. Apparently, the guy that farms this, he sprayed fertilizer and whatnot, which I would imagine is mostly chicken shit and whatnot, on this field right before they sold the farm to me. And he wasn't upset, but he was concerned. He was like, hey man, am I going to be able to still mow that hay that I got ready? And I said, yeah, dude, absolutely. And he said, you could have some of the hay if you want it. And I said, well, that's cool. And he asked me how much I wanted, and I said, how about 2 bales? I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with 2 bales of this hay, but it's that's up to my neck. That's a big old nice bale of hay there. And so he said, you can have more if you want, and if you want more later, I can bring some back to you. So what a nice guy. But he's got what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bales of hay on here. And he said he can do it 2 more times yet this spring, so that'll be cool. So I'll have 2 bales of hay to start with. So that'll be good for, I hate to say it, but my next goat experiment? No, I don't know if I'm going to do that again ever. What I'm doing right now, though, is gathering some of this beautiful hay that he couldn't get out of the corners here. And I'm going to put that in my little chicken pen box for them to eat and poke and peck and maybe put their eggs in. I don't know. Just going to collect where the hay baler missed. All right, talk to you guys later.